Hi, so this is another faceless video. My eczema's flared up, so it's all over my arms and around my neck. But hopefully, if it calms down tomorrow, I will be doing some more videos and face to camera ones. But I thought I'd get this out of the way because I want to do about two or three more tomorrow different videos. So I'll get my comics review out of the way because I was able to go early this week, so I've read all my comics. So we're going to start, and unusually for me, it's first two comics, the DC comics, and I might not be giving them great reviews. So let's go and have a look. So the first one is Green Arrow Annual Number One. What first of all really annoyed me with this? They said, "Oh, this is like Joshua Williamson's coda to his series," because I thought the recent latest issue of Green Arrow, where it was half his story and half Chris Connor's launch of his run, I thought, oh, that's it. He's done a nice tidy send off to his series, and said, oh no, it's going to be in this one. Lies. Artwork's fine, but the story. How can I describe it? It rhymes with hit, but there's an S at the beginning. It was just shit. Artwork's fine. It read like a Hallmark movie. It was cheesy, overly sentimental. It was Green Arrow set slightly in the future. So Ollie Queen's about late 50s, early 60s, looking after a load of kids. It was pointless. There's just no point. It was a story that could have taken about 4 pages, and instead of made it a 40-page annual or whatever. Yeah, great, Josh. You enjoyed working on the Green Arrow, but this isn't the way to end it. You should have left it with what you did on the comic. And I must be honest, I love Green Arrow, but I like my Green Arrow to be a street level. He's like the original social justice warrior, and he works best when he's like that, when he's this railing against authority. And Josh Williamson kind of killed that. He just made him this superhero of this big family. Fair enough, yeah, he's got a lot of kids and all that, but he doesn't need to be surrounded by them all the time. It's too much like a Batman carbon copy. So I'm really looking forward to what Chris Connor's going to bring on it, because I've watched some interviews with him, and he's going to bring it back to like the glory days of the Mike W. Barr miniseries with Trevor Von Eden and the Mike Grell's run on Green Arrow, where it was more like a street level hero fighting for social causes, fighting against the man, or like he was when he was teamed up with Green Lantern in Hard Traveling Heroes. So that kind of vibes. I'm really looking forward to it. But this, big disappointment, 4 out of 5. But it's an annual, so I'm just feel annoyed because I could have bought something else instead of this. But there we go. And the other DC one, which I won't be giving a great review to, is Batman. So I kind of enjoyed the issue before it. First thing that pisses me off, this cover, nice cover, but if you look at it, it's stupid. So there's a chalk outline, and because the mayor got killed basically, and he wore a patch. Why draw a patch on the outline? It is crazy. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. And so one of the big shadowy villains now is this guy here who works for the Court of Owls. The Court of Owls are meant to work in shadow, so why would he be prominent? And it's like Chip Zdarsky's not got a handle on the villains of Gotham or the lore behind it, and he's just like flinging everything to the wall, whereas forgetting other things that he's brought in, like Vandal Savage, being the commissioner and stuff like that. He's just got rid of all that, and he doesn't know how to write Jim Gordon at all. And this is the biggest. The artwork's beautiful, by the way. I really like the artwork. I just don't like how Chip Zdarsky on Batman is basically what Zeb Wells has been on Spider-Man, where it can be a really good issue, and you think, oh, there's potential now, and then he just fucks it up with the next 2 or 3 issues, and that's what he's done with this. He's got a good handle on Bruce Wayne, but he doesn't not got a good handle on the Batman persona. This is silly, and I don't want to go into too much because he does something with Jim Gordon that is so out of character for Jim Gordon. It just does not sit right. And I know next issue he's gonna flip it and reverse it. So the normal status quo, very poor, 4 out of 10. Just a few more issues, and unfortunately, I am being a completionist with Batman. So I'm just counting down the days now to, I think it's March, when Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee come on. It'll be good again. But yeah, not impressed. But on the flip side, it's been interesting. I've been looking on YouTube, threads, and places like that. There's a lot of people raving over this. A lot of people who aren't normally Superman fans, who aren't normally big DC fans, and normally Marvel fans. There's a few that don't like it. Fair enough. Everybody's got different tastes. What people have to remember, it's absolute Superman. It's not, hey, this is going to be like Adventures of Superman, where it's like a sister title to Superman and Action Comics. No, it's a complete reimagining, and that's what it should be. So nothing, it doesn't matter if nothing is the same. It's like the Ultimates. It's a complete reimagining, and they really changed the characters in the Ultimates. And if anything, the Ultimates is much more on the nose than this is. Like, they're bringing gender politics and things like that with and how Native Americans are badly treated in the USA and things. So it's very much more on the nose than something like this. And again, Ultimate X-Men, it's the X-Men in title, but nothing to do with the X-Men what we're used to. So I don't get why some people are saying, oh, the Absolutes just need to be much more like the regular titles. No, they don't. It's a completely new universe, and that's what I'm loving about it. And I'm pleased that they have kind of like separated it from what we expect to see in Superman. With the Absolute titles, I want to see something that's got echoes of the original character, but a complete revamp, and that's what we're getting here. I love the artwork, by the way, by Rafa Sandoval is beautiful. I love this depiction of Krypton. It's got very much like a Dune kind of feel to it. And what I like is how they flipped it on the head, where the symbols aren't the family crest, it's showing their status. So the Superman symbol is they're basically like the working drones, the people doing the shitty jobs. And so these are like the higher ups who've got like the sun crest and things like that. So there's very much a class division. And I found it was fascinating, really fascinating, good science fiction background to Krypton. Because, yeah, it's new, it's brand new, it's set in the modern day, so why not make something fresh? And the artwork like here is just absolutely beautiful. And what I loved, what really pleased me is, instead of having it America focused like Superman is, it's global focus. So the first time we see Kal-El is in Brazil. And I really enjoyed it, and I like how he gets his powers, where he's got like this little, it's like almost like a mother box giving him the power. Everything about it is just great, and I like the incorporations of the Peacekeeper, Peacemakers, whatever, where they're more like rent-a-cop kind of thing. Yeah, it's just great. And because I came into this with trepidation, because, oh, is Kal-El going to be like a moody goth? No, not at all. He's basically like somebody almost like with amnesia, and the way he gets revealed is great. It's fun. And yeah, Lois Lane makes an appearance. She's Lois Lane in name only, basically. She's an agent, but this is the first issue, so don't get your knickers in a twist thinking, oh, we're writing against type. Who knows what's going to happen down the line? I mean, in the normal Superman comics, Lois Lane is the daughter of an army major, general, whatever he is. So yes, it makes sense that she's going to have some kind of like military background in this, and who knows where it could develop in a few months' time. So I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued with how they've done this, and yeah, it left me on a hook, wants to know more about each of the characters, not just Kal-El, but this version of Lois Lane, because she's pretty damn badass. Yeah, and I like how I want to know what's going on with Kansas. So the Kents are focused. So is he going to have ties to the Kents? Oops. Or isn't he? Who knows? It's a little droplet of intrigue that's got me interested to know what's going to happen there. And one thing that really gets me buzzing as well, this version of Brainiac, very interesting. So as a pretty much, not a die-hard Superman fan, but I definitely came on board with, I didn't like Superman until John Byrne came on board in the 80s. And it's got me intrigued. So I would give this a very healthy 8.5 out of 10. And I think it is a good jumping on point for somebody who doesn't normally read Superman, or somebody who just wants something fresh and intriguing to read. It's like, again, going back to the Ultimates, those are the series that I do like from Marvel, but I can't afford to get everything, and I am going to be buying them most likely in collected editions. So, because I do want to read the Ultimates, I've heard good things about it, but I just think some books, comics, I've just got to get collected. So I will go back and get them when they do come out in trades. But yeah, 8.5 out of 10. Pleasantly surprised, because I was a bit nervous out of all the absolutes with that one. And then onto one that I've not got any worries for, because it's constantly good. Birds of Prey. And because this is the second in the All-In series, the covers are back to normal now. It's just the first cover in the All-Ins where the titles have like a whitish background. So we've got just a nice standard good Birds of Prey cover. Nice continuation of the story. The artwork is so beautiful, almost like what's the artist called? Almost like Jamie McKelvey, who did is it the Something Undivine with Kieran Gillen. But the art on this is Basser, and he's really, really good. And the colouring is so nice, very clean colours. I love the villains in this, very, very camp villain. And it's focusing very much on Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, but I like the dynamic of the relationship she has with Big Barda, and it's kind of sweet. Big Barda's kind of like, just loves her, loves like a little sister. She's become like Big Barda's little sister, and Big Barda just can't believe that she can't cope without her. And of course, Cassandra Cain's like one of the toughest girls going, and this bit is just great, like this breakout. It's fun. It's a good comic. 8 out of 10. And then one that annoys me because it comes out weekly, because it's dear. It's $4.99. You do get substantial pages. You get 30 pages of story, but god damn it, the story's good. And again, this is pure Superman. That's absolute. Separate your brain from that, and this is what you want in a pure Superman comic. From the art by Clayton Henry to the writing by Mark Waid, it's just great. And in a way, I'm kind of guiltily pleased that it is weekly, even though it is costing me a lot, because the story ends on a great cliffhanger each issue, and the art is so clean and perfect for a normal Superman comic. And so he's kind of like ended up in this version of Krypton, of when his parents were young people before the great disaster happened. But then it flips to the subplot with Mon-El and the two Superboy and the Superman of China. I love their dynamic. They need their own comic. They need a buddy comic. Yeah, it's upping the ante. It's still making me fascinated by it. I love how Mark Waid writes Clark Kent's parents, or Kal-El's parents, really, really interesting, and bring out like almost like his dad's almost like a mad scientist, or as he describes it, Willy Wonka. And then the Supergirl backup, I'm not kind of getting that invested in the story, but the art is beautiful. The art's very similar to the Supergirl series from Tom King and Bilquis. So yeah, really solid, 8 out of 10. And then we come to Batgirl. Now this is my Batgirl, because I remember the series by Kelly Puckett, I think it was, back in the early, was it 2010, something like that. And Tate Brown Bell has really caught the spirit of the original Batgirl series. If you've not come from a Batman background or not familiar with the history of Batgirl, I guess it can come a bit jarring. But for me, this was everything I wanted in a Batgirl comic. She's nothing like the other Batgirls. She's very much an introvert, but that's not to say she's shy or anything like that. She weighs everything up. She doesn't just verbalise what she's feeling. She uses body language. So this is one thing that they get better in this than how Kelly Thompson writes Batgirl. Cassandra Cain reads body language. So she doesn't need to have a conversation with somebody, because she can guess what you're going to be thinking and what you're going to be doing just by the actions in your body. And she speaks in this, but very, very minimally, because, again, she doesn't waste words. What she says has meaning. What she says, she thinks about before she says it. So she's different to me. I'll just waffle for England. And the artwork is by Takeshi Miyazawa and colours by Mike Spicer. I love the artwork. It's got like a very, very good, um, almost like, it's hard to describe. There's an energy to it. It's not manga or anything like that, but I think I know what it is. It's, with the colouring as well, it reminds me a bit of Frank Miller's graphic novel he did years ago, with about Daredevil and Elektra. The one that he drew himself. I forgot what it's called now. Was it Elektra Lives or something? And it's got that kind of energy, especially with how they draw the ninjas in this. So there's ninjas in here. So basically, Cassandra Cain teams up with her mum, who's Lady Shiva, and she's just fantastic. Lady Shiva's got such a history. League of Assassins. She's basically like the female equivalent of Ra's al Ghul. She's totally badass. And Cassandra Cain has no. Well, she alleges that she's got no love for her mum, and vice versa. Lady Shiva says that she's not got any love for her daughter. You know, she's all about being the world's best assassin, but they're both lying. And that's what's the clever thing with the story, with how they do the body language and the inner thoughts of Cassandra Cain. She can tell when her mum's lying, and it's just great. But I just want to point out the colouring as well. The colouring by Mike Spicer adds so much to the art. Like when this panel here where the ninjas just burst through the glass like this, it's just so dynamic, and it follows the page. And I love how it goes from this dense different elements of colour to these like a block of yellow. Just great, just wonderful artwork. And what I like about it is that they're both I think they're both resentful that they are so similar to each other, but because they're so similar, they can read each other's body language, and so they're like the ultimate fighting force. So she picks up Cassandra Cain and spins around, and Cassandra or Batgirl can almost instinctively read, yeah, that's what you're doing that because then I can be launched into the ninjas. It's a very, very fun, quick setup, and I trust Tate Brombell as a writer. If you've not read Crystal Chaos, I do recommend it. And this is just a really good scene setter. It's made me appreciate Lady Shiva more. I've always thought she was really cool from years and years ago from reading her adventures, but this has made it even more elaborate and exciting. I love the introduction of the League of Assassins. Yeah, this was good. And I think even if you're not if you don't know the history of Batgirl, it doesn't really matter. I think it's a good comic to go into blind, and yeah, I'd give this a 9 out of 10. This one I was very excited for. I've got a long history of love for GSA, all the way back to when they used to do crossovers in the Justice League in the 70s, when these were all based on Earth 2. And then, of course, in the 80s, you had Infinity Inc. So when I saw the Infinity Inc. characters in as well, I was like, oh, yes, this is doing it. And, of course, Jeff Johns' run and James Robinson's run and things like this. So the art... So it's written by Jeff Lemire. The art is by Diego Olaturga. I butchered his last name. I do apologise. The art... Initially, I found it jarring. And then by the 4th page, I was into it. It's like a cross between Scott Collins, but if who's that old Marvel artist inker? Tom Palmer. If Tom Palmer was inking it, and I love the ink strokes on this. The page that cinched it for me was this page here. Just the dynamism, and this is what I want from a superhero team book. Where this is what's lacking with the new X-Men series. There's no infighting or bickering or they've lost the elements of soap opera. They've got bits of soap opera, but not enough. This has got the soap opera, what you need in a big team book. And yet there's a lot going on, and you do feel drops in the middle of it. But from what I've heard, this is done intentionally by Jeff Lemire. So he's kind of giving you this mystery, and it's kind of like one of those mysteries where you start halfway through, like some of these arty films do, and then they bring the the beginning of it later on. So maybe in issue 2, it'll explore more of how they arrive where they're at. Because there's a reason it's called Ragnarok, so it's going to be like really explosive. So basically, the Infinity Inc. are holding the forts for the original JSA because the original JSA are missing, and it turns out that not everybody is who they say they are. So it flashes back to what's going on with the JSA, and there's some kind of big internal conflict. And like I said, I've got this page is just gorgeous. By the way, I love how I love how he draws Doctor Fate, and very Steve Ditko-ish here with the colouring. Yeah, just beautiful, just dynamic. But I'll close it there because there's a big reveal, and I don't want to reveal what happens. But yeah, this was good, very very good. Like I said, it could be a bit confusing, I guess. But what I would advise is more will be revealed. I've a lot of faith in Jeff Lemire, but he does like to play head games sometimes with his writing, and I think that's what he's doing here. But I'm invested. It was intriguing. It's everything I wanted in a team book. There's a lot of dynamism. I love this cover. I was tempted to get the Jeff Lemire one, but I tried to I've got to keep my budget down somehow. And yeah, another 9 out of 10. And I'm looking forward to seeing what gets unwrapped in the mystery in issue 2. And yeah, it was a very, very good twist at the end. Yeah, I love it. I'm very happy with this. And then one that I got because there's a special offer online, so I thought I'll give Batman and Robin a try again. So I've got all the issues that I was missing in Batman and Robin, and then this is the latest all-in-one. So it's by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Fernandez. The artwork is beautiful. Javi Fernandez on the artwork, and it's good. It's very, very good. I think this is better than Joshua Williamson's run, to be honest. And it's just after one issue. I like the mystery in it. There's much more of them working as a detective team. You know, it's not just doing it for laughs and kicks. And the artwork is beautiful. So it's like a hidden mystery about Gotham, which I'm always loving when they delve into like the past of Gotham. And yeah, I'm invested. So this has been put on my pull list. I do have some others that are coming soon. I've got Nightwing, which hopefully should be here tomorrow, and Absolute Wonder Woman, which should hopefully be here tomorrow as well. But yeah, I would give this an 8 out of 10. So that's the DC pile. Fortunately, it wasn't as expensive a week this week. So I got Feral, which should have come last week, but it was delayed. Number 7, beautiful cover. So this kind of flashes forward a bit, and it features initially on this new group, and these are kittens. The artwork is so beautiful. So as mentioned before, this deals with an outbreak where it's basically like rabies has just this big outbreak of like almost like a rabies, and it turns animals who contract into almost like zombies. So these little kittens are just trying to fend for themselves, acting like little kids, and then some of the original cast members of Feral appear. And I'm going to leave it there because a lot happens in this, and there's a really fascinating and fun reveal on the last page. And yeah, I'm chomping at the bit to get to number 8. And I really hope that more people do read this comic because it's one of the most original and fun comics out there. A solid 9 out of 10. And then I'll come to this one last. We come to Savage Sword of Conan, number 5. Beautiful cover, beautiful back cover. Oh, I love this comic so much. I love everything from newsprint smell to the newsprint paper to the gorgeous black and white artwork, and now they've got Jeff Isherwood back, who did a good long run on Conan. He did some really nice artwork for Suicide Squad back in the day as well, the John Ostrander's Suicide Squad. And this is focusing on King Conan. It's written by Jason Aaron. The artwork is so beautiful. It would be ruined if it had colour. I just want to show. There's a crowd scene which is so good. But I mean, look at that open space. Just simplistic but detailed at the same time through its simplicity, if that makes sense. But I mean, look at this. So you've got the scene here, and then you've got this wonderful crowd background, and no face is the same. This is pure comic art. There's no lazy short corners, and there's no kayfabe or anything like that where they're just repeating the same image. It's so good. So there's it's a big main story about this alleged witch. It's an interesting take, just fast forward because it's quite graphic. And then there's just a fun 2-page story by Jim Zub and Rob Delator. And then a backup strip. The backup strip's okay, but I don't care. The rest of it's solid good, so good. So it's part 1, this story. So Jason is going to be doing the next issue as well. And he does write a good Conan comic. So this, another 9 out of 10. But the comic of the week for me is One for Sorrow by Jimmy McKelvey. I knew he was a gorgeous artist anyway from his stuff with Young Avengers and The Wicked and the Divine and so on and so on. But I did not know he could write. The art in this is just beautiful. So it's set in Victorian England, and it kind of blends elements of Sherlock Holmes or Victoriana crime stories, detectives, mysteries, with Victorian like supernatural elements. So very Arthur Conan Doyle. But the artwork, the artwork is stunning as expected. But the dialogue is so good as well. And there's a great twist, and I don't want to go into it too much because I advise you, if you've never bought a distillery book, this would be a good first one to try. It's such a strong story, very satisfying, a perfect 10. So that's it for this review issue. So tomorrow I'm hoping to do a few videos. One that I'll be doing, I'll be looking at doing my cherry picks, my favourite titles, new number ones or key comics coming out in January from DC, from Marvel, from Image and Distillery. So I'll be using previews this time instead of faffing about with a tablet. And also I'll be doing a look at Battle Action issue 3, which has Johnny Red and Hookjaw. Some gorgeous art in this comic. And be looking at a particular story in 2000 AD. So Robo Hunter and Strontium Dog teaming up. And also be looking at Judge Dredd, perfect jumping on point issue. So I'll go through that. And then we might be doing a look at some recent purchases. So I've got Max Immortal, which is book 2. Boy Max Immortal, sorry. This is book 2 in the Heroica saga by Rick Veitch. This came today. And also be doing a look at CROK, Comics Rule OK, which focuses on Warrior this time. Okay, so those hopefully I'll be doing tomorrow. Okay, so bye. Bye-bye.